Good morning, H coming at you with another Inventor tutorial guide. This one we're going to be looking at specifically the extruding tool, the extrude tool. So I've already created a sketch, in sketch mode, made it a profile basic shape here, what we got going on, and we're looking at the extrude tool here. So and we're going to have a couple in this series of like tools and what the tools are here in the part creation and 3D modeling. So we have Extrude. Extrude is the very first and probably the most used tool that is going to be in the create section here of the ribbon, right? So creating material, creating 3D material, all these tools in here create some type of 3D material out of a sketch profile. And they also have the ability to cut that material as well. These tools have both the ability to add and subtract material away uh, in their different functions. So if I go to the extrude tool here and I just kind of leave my mouse there for just a moment, it's going to tell us pretty much what this is. This extrude, it creates a feature or body by adding depth to the profile. Closed profiles create solids or surfaces. Open profiles create surfaces only. And it keeps on going there. It gives us a nice little picture of that kind of star shape that's there. That's the profile shape. And it's getting extruded from that shape coming up in 3D. So we're going to extrude this part file here, this little sketch that I made to use the extrude tool. And so if I click extrude, and this window pops up here, and it gives me a preview of what this extrusion looks like. And right now, very simply, the input geometry is the profile that I drew. Right, that's what this means. The input geometry is what is the shape, what is the sketch that you made, what is that shape, what is that profile, and what does it look like. So here the profile, one profile is that shape, this letter H here, right? And we can choose that profile, but we can also choose where we start that, right? So very typically, at least in my classroom scenario, you're going to start it from the sketch plane, from where the shape, the sketch was drawn. So in this case, it was the XY plane, it was the front plane. There it is, it's drawn on there. And so that's where this from is. However, we can change this and we can select another face. We could select, and we could select something, some other face or some other plane that is parallel to this plane, this surface that we've selected, this for the sketch, and it would start it there. Right. So an example of that would be this. So if we have our plane and we offset it from the XY, we offset it here. We'll just say 11.5 millimeters. That's absolutely fine. And we have this plane here, and we extrude, right? We extrude, and we select, instead of the sketch plane, we're going to be selecting this plane here. You can see you can see that now. You can see, okay, the profile's here, but instead of extruding directly from the sketched profile, we're skipping that 11.5 millimeters, and now we're extruding it from here. So we can do this with work planes. We can do this with things that have already been extruded, other surfaces of 3D material as well. And we can change where it's coming from. So we have the profile and we're going where it's from, but the from always has to be parallel to the sketch itself. Okay, so that's the big thing here. So let's just get rid of this real fast, and we'll go back to our original direction. Again, the direction is just under the behavior section here. The direction is, again, which way is it extruding, right? We have this direction here, which is kind of the default direction. Then we have it flipped the other direction, which is typically like a negative direction, positive direction, right? Negative direction, positive direction, that's here. You could also do a symmetrical. So this is 10, but it's the whole distance is 10 symmetrically split 5 and 5. right? And then this is asymmetrical. And so you have to control the different distances on your own, right? So this is 10 right now, and this is 5. And you can kind of see as we select these different boxes, it's highlighting in this blue dimensional line right here where that is, right? So we have those two as there. Now the output, the body name, this is just the name given to the extrusion. You can change this if you wish to customize it. You could say H because it's an H. You could do all sorts of different stuff with naming the different things depending upon what feature it is of what part file. You can name things very specifically so they have names that make sense to what you are making if you wish. The last thing, the advanced property here, is the taper. Now a taper is a shrinking or growing of the extrusion as it is being made. So let's go back a bit, and that's the idea of as this gets extruded. So this is a 0.5 millimeter extrusion here, very, very small, coming off this plane, and it's growing this way. And with the extrude tool, whatever the profile starts out as here with this shape is what it's going to end as on this other side of the extrusion. And it's just going to depend upon how far that extrusion is. We can adjust the size, all that we want, and make it any size that we really need, by changing this distance number that is here, right? So all these different things. But as this grows, we could also tell it to taper a certain amount of degrees as it grows in the extrusion, as it continues to gain distance direction. Now we can taper that a positive number, and it's going to flare out. This really messes it up a bit because again, there's like grooves in this feature here to make this H shape. So it's going to be really challenging to see the taper, but you can see it occurring as we add degrees. We could also go a negative direction, and you'll see it's cutting material as it extrudes that material. So the taper kind of adds or takes away material, positive numbers for adding, negative numbers taking away. There's another name for this in Inventor, and that's draft. This drafting tool here pretty much does a similar thing, but it's its own tool for it. But the taper tool does this kind of drafting as long as it starts from one side and goes to the other. And again, you have your different degrees that are here. And of course, 0 is just the standard, right? 0 is just straight extrusion, no drafting, no tapering of that design. So if I hit OK, that is the extrusion that has been made. So again, you can adjust, its direction, its amount of distance it's going, if it has a taper or not. You could change its starting position. Again, it doesn't have to be on the sketch itself where the profile was drawn. It could be offset to another surface or plane that is parallel to the original where the sketch was being made. And that's the basic extrude tool summed up with everything that we have to use that for. All right. So thank you very much. You all have a great day.